Hello and welcome to another Outside Inside Star Citizen, the show where we talk about what they said in the Inside Star Citizen, of course, and where we make fun of them, and where I do some stupid shit, and yeah. Anyway, let me roll the intro and let's watch the Inside Star Citizen. Just one note, there's nothing to see in this one, it's just the Banu Merchantman and that's it. I'm gonna try to make it fun, but yeah. Anyway, roll the intro.
Hello, my name is Grumpy.
I think my favorite alien species in Star Citizen, if I had to pick one, if I had to, I love them all. Yeah, I have a deep fondness for the Banu.
Like the visual architecture.
They just seem like kind of cool critical thinkers.
The Xi'an I'm closest to mentally, meaning I know more about them than all of the others.
They're like the chill, relaxed ones.
Even though they're so friendly, they look like they can pack a punch, you know?
So far, the ones that have piqued my interest is the Randall.
They're the predators of the space in our universe.
And they look really kind of fierce and ferocious.
You know, when you encounter them, you know you're in a lot of trouble.
Excuse me, what game are we talking about? Because Star Citizen, the game that I used to play before 3.17.2 dropped, and it was like the worst patch fucking ever, I never saw any aliens. I must say that I haven't played in like 2 or 3 weeks because I just simply can't. But I'm pretty sure that there are no aliens inside that game. So the fuck are we talking about when we encountered them? A lot of trouble. What? Oh, come on, guys. Like, what is this? Like, you're building up hype for nothing. Like, people are gonna buy the game and then they're gonna ask themselves, like, where the fuck are the aliens? Well, they're coming soon. Jesus fucking, like, don't even fucking talk about them then, right? Like, am I being an asshole now? I don't know.
Their alien race, probably the Vandal. There's no alien ship better than the Talon.
Isn't the Talon Tavaran?
It is Tavaran, yeah, but the Tavarans themselves I'm not keen on. That ship. But yeah, the Vandal, they just tick all the right boxes for me.
And that's one of the developers not knowing his own game, which is okay. It's completely fine. But when you see a YouTuber that didn't know something and then you roast them and then you unsubscribe and then you tell all your friends that a YouTuber didn't know something, like, Jesus fucking Christ, guys, get a life. This guy didn't know that the Talon is Tavaran. I mean, he knew, but he forgot, which is completely normal, right? Anyway.
Alien Week is here, and with it, our annual celebration of Xi'an, Banu, Tavaran, and even the dreaded Vandal. And if you haven't already, check out the various contests and activities happening across social on the robertspaceindustriescom website. But for us here at ISC, we thought we'd take this week to dedicate entirely to exploring the current status of the highly anticipated Banu Merchantman. Now, warning, much of it is still in gray box or early white box phase. Still, there's a lot to explore of its mysterious interior. Let's find out more.
And just yet, I released a video on the Banu Merchantman, like, should you buy Banu Merchantman? If you didn't watch it, you can go back and watch it. And a bunch of you have asked me why didn't I release the video after this ISC, because everybody knew, like, I didn't know, but I didn't care. Everybody knew that they were gonna talk about the Merchantman in this ISC. Okay, fine. So let's see what we have learned. Too long, didn't read. We have learned that there are 2 docking collars. So, like, everything that I said in the previous video, the video that I posted prior to this, it's all the same, but just add a docking collar and that's it. That's basically it. There's some cool visuals. We have seen how the wings don't, like, fold but go inside each other. You're gonna see it, and that's it. So you can just not watch this video anymore. That's basically it. The next, I don't know, 22 minutes of this video is gonna be nothing, basically.
Before we get into it, let's talk a little bit about where we are in that process. Ben, we know the Banu Merchantman has been in development for a while, then it's not in development. Set this up for us. Where are we at overall?
The exterior is going through its grey box pass. So it's looking a little bit more advanced than the interior of the ship that we'll see in a bit. We've basically got 2 artists on it, and we kind of chop the ship up into different parts that they can work on. And we're just going through and making sure that everything that needs to fit in the ship is going to fit in the ship.
So he just said that they have 2 artists working on the merchantman. I presume that this is why it takes them 12 to 18 months to make a capital-sized ship. Like, I'm speechless. But let's continue.
And it's worth noting that this is a landmark ship for Star Citizen. This is one of the biggest ships of its kind. It's got entirely new purposes with the shops and everything inside. It's pushing an alien race into a new size and scale that we've never done with any of the other ships outside of Squadron 42.
So on the left here, you can see the Banu merchantman. On the right, this is Fleet Viewer, you can see the 890 jump. The scale is basically the same. It's a bit wider, but these wings, instead of folding, you will see they go inside. It's just like an antenna, basically. And the scale is basically the same because the Banu merchantman would not fit a hangar if it was any bigger, and that's fine. But he said that they never built something of this scale. Okay, maybe he meant something different, like of this grandeur, whatever. But he said that we're gonna have different like game styles and game loops for it, because it is supposed to be a merchantman. It is supposed to have like a bunch of markets inside of it, and you can hire NPCs and all of that. But they're doing this, yet they're not talking about that game loop being introduced or even hiring NPCs. So I'm thinking that they're gonna release just another 890 jump with 2 size 8 guns and a few like repeaters on the side, and that's it. I'm like, hopefully they're not, but knowing CAG, they could just release the Banu merchantman just to have it out, and yeah, and then it's just gonna be an empty shell of what it's supposed to be, and you're only gonna do cargo runs and kill Idrisi, whatever, with it. So let's continue.
There is a lot to this ship, so with that, let's jump on in and start with the exterior.
So we've got the entire front with its hidden weapons that come out from there for the pilot control. Its dual docking collars, one on either side. Its wings with the new animation designs for them, for how they're actually going to deploy. As you can see, there's a lot of detailing on the wing section, a very elaborate and almost elegant design on it, because at the end of the day, this is something they use as a trademark to show how wealthy they are and well they're doing as a trader.
And this is exactly why it reminds me of the A90 jump, because the primary game loop of the A90 jump is to piss on the pores, because there's nothing else to do with it. You just have it and you take it out and you unzip your pants and you piss on the pores, and that's it. That is it. And I think that Banu merchantman is gonna like fill the same fucking role for years to come. Hopefully not. As I've said again, hopefully not, because they said that they're not gonna release ships without their main game loops anymore. So we'll see, I guess.
That's a lot of detail, even for Grey Box phase.
Yeah, it's a new art style. We've done the Defender, obviously, but for the UK team, it's a kind of new art style, and also the Defender is vastly smaller in terms of its size. There's our normal kind of approach to how we kind of layer in the details has needed a bit of kind of alteration, and we've had to kind of think about how we're going to bring in some of those smaller scale elements to give a better sense of size and scale, because when you zoom out from this ship, you still want it to feel huge, and it deserves to feel huge. It is absolutely monstrous. So I think we've had to spend a bit more time working out how we're going to add detail to it. There's still a lot to be done. There's still a lot of the finer details to be added, because that does impact in how we model the ship, how we make the ship. So yeah, it's been a fun challenge for the artist so far.
I mean, it looks nice. It looks like something from Star Wars, and I approve. But if its primary game loop is not there, it's going to be pointless and it's going to be useless. So I don't know. Also, like, what are you gonna trade between like two systems? Because it's gonna be released once Pyro is here, and then at some point we will have like Nick's system, and then we will have 3 systems, and like then maybe this ship is gonna be really useful. I don't know. It looks nice. It really does, but it's not my style. I don't like. I like that it does look like a ship, like a spaceship. It doesn't look like a, even though it has wings, it doesn't really look like a plane, which is like my main complaint with most of the ships in Star Citizen. But yeah, like my style is the gritty, like the Drake style, or I just want to have like an Argo gunship, like a fucking cube with guns, like not a cube, not a fucking Borg cube, but you know what I mean, something that looks like it shouldn't be flying, but it is, and it's heavily armed and heavily armored, and it's there to take a beating, and it can deal a lot of damage. That's what I want from ships. We have the Redeemer. The Redeemer style is just like, what the fuck is that? It looks like an ugly duckling. But yeah, I don't know. The ship looks nice.
I understand there was a recent change to the animations.
Yep, I'll have to go get in.
Oh.
They were very quick.
Oh, the animation is nowhere near final. It was just to make sure we got it in.
I think it's a fair disclaimer for this. Absolutely no part of what you're seeing today.
Yep.
It's fine.
And yeah, I must say that this animation is much better and suits the ship much more, because the arrow style, like the anvil arrow style of like wings folding, is just like, no, it doesn't suit an alien race, and this is much better. Even though I would like it to be like not an antenna style, but like something more organic, but it's fine. It's fine. It looks fine. So yeah, great.
I was like, I remember seeing the Play Blast in Max, and they were a little bit felt a bit weightier and a bit sleeker than that. But yeah, there is some kind of subtle movement where, you know, panels open up and they allow for the kind of like the rest of the wings to slide in. And you know, as with everything we do, we make sure that there's not space magic going on. Things actually kind of fit and function as they should. So yeah, you know, it gives a few more challenges, but I think the end result is a much nicer kind of silhouette when you see this thing parked.
I must say that I like it a bit more when the wings are tucked in, because it looks nicer. It looks more like a spaceship. But this is fine. This is completely fine, and I approve. Like this whole video is just gonna be that, basically.
Let's move inside. Let's start with the bridge since we're already there.
Okay, so yeah, the interior of the ship, like I say, is the main, like you're going to see now, is mainly in kind of white box. The concept mesh gave us like a really good starting point. As always with concept meshes, we had to do, you know, a fair amount of kind of optimizations and remodeling to kind of get it to the point where we can get it into engine and kind of start walking around it. The bridge is trying not to say the same thing for every area. It's massive, and you know, you can just any area of the ship you go into, just know that in the back of my head I'm thinking it's huge. You know, we've obviously got the kind of like the 4 control seats. And Mark, do you want to talk through the different functionality stations? Yeah.
Okay, so before they start talking about the functionalities and all that, there is one concern that I have with their ship, and hopefully CIG is gonna see this video or somebody's gonna tell them this. The seat that he came out of is the pilot seat, and that seat, in my opinion, is not positioned good. It's not that it's on the left side, that's fine, but you can barely see the tip of your nose of your ship, and that is really important when landing. If you want to land in a hangar, you need to know where your nose is. The only way not to clip the hangar and just die there is either to see your nose, or you're gonna go into third person. But I have a lot of things to say about the third person in this game, because this game, like, third person can be really abused, and we know that from Jumptown, because you can just move your camera and look at the door even though you're like I don't know, 5 meters away from the door and behind 3 walls. So yeah, the third person can be abused, and I don't know if, like, they can't really take him out because people are making screenshots and all that, of course, but also the third person is not immersive. So yeah, like if they lifted up the seat a bit more or pulled it backwards, because the cockpit is going like this, and if you pull it backwards, you can if you pull the seat backwards, you can go a bit higher and you can see the tip of your nose clearly. And that's my main concern about this ship and about like flying this ship basically.
So as ever, the Banu don't have captains. They're a very family communal sort of unit, so it didn't make sense to have a primary captain station for the bridge section. In reality, everything would be relatively even.
So basically what they're saying here is that the Banu are communists. Dirty commies. And they're wealthy. And being wealthy in communism does not compute. Therefore, the primary game loop of this ship is gonna be pissing on the poor. Confirmed.
So we have the pilot seat and control, which obviously with a ship of this scale, it's very difficult to get a good view from the pilot seat, to get a good view of what's actually happening.
Yes, you can. You just need to pull the seat backwards and get it on a higher level so he can see the nose. Like, for example, this here is the highest point of the ship, and that is a turret. Like, okay, it's a good position for a turret, I guess, but does it need to be like that high? I don't know. From their standpoint, yes, but the crew and the pilot is here, and why not pull him backwards here, or just get him into like a rounded cockpit, like a P-47 Thunderbolt? So they, like a big fucking P-47 Thunderbolt bubble cockpit, so they can go a bit higher and see everything. Because yeah, like you not seeing your nose on a ship this big, and you not being, well, maybe you can see the wings, I'm not sure, but not seeing your nose properly, that's gonna be a pain in the ass to land, as I've said already.
So a lot of the animations need to be very alien so that you can get the pilot into a good position so they'd be able to see what they're doing. So we use a lot of Xi'an tech, which lift things up through gravity, so they get this fantastic view out the front so you can see where you're actually going.
I mean, if this is fantastic, you might as well just call me Mickey Mouse from now on. I don't know. I don't know. Like, the caterpillar, you can see the tip of your nose, and it's still hard to land it for most people. Even for me, that I know and I love the caterpillar, it's still somewhat hard, but at least you can see what you're doing. With this ship, it's gonna be really hard because you can barely see the nose tip, and you need to see it. You simply need to see it. And please, CAG, if this is still in white box, as you said, please pull the pilot seat a bit backwards and lift him up a bit, just like, I don't know, a meter, so you can see the tip of the nose.
So you've got your primary pilot seat, then to the right of them you have your co-pilot seat, then two stations behind are for the large remote turrets that the ship has for defense. So if you ever need it, people can quickly jump into these seats and get into the action to try and defend you from whatever's happening if it's coming up behind or the sides. Obviously, if it's coming on front, the pilot has more than enough means to be able to deal with it themselves. Directly behind the bridge where the actual operations occur, you have some basic features for if stuff goes wrong. So you have some suit lockers to put emergency suits in, because obviously they're not going to want to go around in their day-to-day lives wearing their spacesuit all the time.
Yeah, because they're going to be wearing their top hats and monocles. And yeah, they're not going to be they're probably just going to be naked with top hats and monocles, because yeah, you gotta look good when you urinate on the pores.
Directly behind, we also have the entryway to get inside the main man turret.
This is kind of one of the rooms that we spent a bit of time kind of playing with in white box and making sure we got it right. We really wanted this to kind of feel
silly, because that's the right word to use, because it does look silly from my point of view, of course, because like it feels like you're entering the main parts of Jedi Temple, and then you have a turret. It's just a turret, guys. It is just a turret, and it's not the best fucking turret ever. It's a turret with two size 5s. And why does it look like that? Why is it so, like, grandiose? Like, I don't understand it. It's not to my taste. That's what I'm gonna say. It's their design choice, even though like I don't fucking understand why there's so much unused space. There's like no point in it looking like that. But maybe in the end, maybe this is just like the white box, and maybe in the end it's just gonna be cool. But from my point of view, it looks silly, and yeah, that's probably not gonna change.
Yeah, like quite a moment walking into it. Go on, Jared.
No.
Okay.
Even in Grey Box, this is quite a moment here.
Yeah, there was some really nice bits in the kind of concept where you had these kind of like these like lit walls, and we tried to kind of pull some of that into, and I think it's almost having that kind of moment of like solitude before you kind of get yoinked up into battle. So it's quite a lonely area of the ship. Everywhere else on the ship kind of feels like it's built for like Mark was saying, like the family, whereas this is kind of very purposeful. You know what you're getting into as soon as you walk in that room.
So basically it's made like that to prepare you and bring you into a zen phase, I guess. I don't know, but I have just one question. Is that like a bridge? Like that thing in the middle, is there like any glass around the bridge, or is it just a bridge? Because any G's that are pulled, any torpedoes or missiles that hit you, they're gonna throw you off the fucking bridge and you're gonna die. So hopefully it's not a bridge, and hopefully it's just made to like look nice and that's it, but you can also like walk around that little bridge area, hopefully.
So an interesting thing about the turret, because it's probably something people are going to be curious about, is how it actually works, because there's no big arm there behind it or anything like that. Once again, it's using alien technology that's keeping it up in place, which is what the plinth is for behind it. And there's an air shield that will be going around the top of here, so that when you actually enter the turret, you're not venting the entirety of the room. Obviously, that does mean that people could try and sneak onto your ship, but while your turret's manned, that might not be the safest thing for them to do.
That is fantastic. Terrific work. So no weaknesses at all, huh?
No.
You hesitated there. Is there something I should know?
No, it's virtually indestructible, like 99.99%.
Okay. Wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask what's the .01.
Well, I mean, there's this little hole. It was kind of an aesthetic choice by the architect, and if you shoot a laser into this hole, the station blows up.
Moving down from the actual bridge area, we then move into the sanctuary. So the Banu are known for being very multicultural when it comes to their religious beliefs. So they have a entire area dedicated to worship, to fortune, to hoping that things are going to go well for them, or that the next trade deal is going to be a good one.
How can they be communists and believe in gods? Because there's like multiple gods in their religious views or whatever. I don't know. True story, by the way. I know a woman. She's a woman now, and not like that, of course, you maniacs. But yeah, like she was that into religion that like she would pray before she went to the store. So the store has yogurt inside. She would pray for that. So yeah, that's Banu. She must be Banu. After that mild blasphemy, all that I have to say about this as an atheist is that it's just gonna be an unused space. It might look nice, but it's just a space that is unused, and that's it. Kill me. Burn the witch.
So this is sort of at the end of the Tree of Life, which is how the entire ship's built around, and it makes sense for it to be at the end of the tree because it's where everything comes out from. So it was important to keep that feel that it runs through the root of the ship. Going off the side of the sanctuary area, we have the med bay, something that people are very curious about where it actually was.
I mean, why would you even have a med bay if you have a sanctuary? I mean, come on, like, just logic. It's just logic.
It's just off to the side, just behind the bridge, just near where all of the actual habitation is. You have a primary medical care bed, which will do your day-to-day actual healing, and then you have recovery beds similar to the ones we have on the Carrack. Now, rather than just being a bed, decided to try something a little different. It's now these pools of healing gel that you lie in just to recover from any significant operation that you had.
He was this close to getting sued by Disney for seeing a Bacta tank. No, but seriously, I approve this. I like this, even though it looks like a spa. I actually dig it, and yeah, like it's alien, and it should be different. So good job.
Yeah, I think yeah, this was again an excuse to kind of just push the ship away from what we're used to seeing. So originally we had like the 3 beds lined up in here, and it was functional. It was, it still looked good. It was just like, it'd be really nicer if these, if you had your operation and then, you just sink down into that recovery pool. And yeah.
I'm drippings with goo.
Yeah.
What was that, Jared? I'm dripping with the goo. I'm just gonna clip this and use this forever for my outro. I'm dripping with goo, and the other guy says, yeah, you're just being weird, dude.
Obviously, the doors across the entire ship are very alien in appearance. It was very important that you're going across this to make everything make sense to the human eye, but at the same time be so different. Moving on from the shrine area, we move into the recreation and social habitation area. So you've got your food maker, along with areas to actually eat, as well as the actual social area. So people can sit around, talk, plan stuff out. Directly off the habitation area, we have a secondary control for the hangar section. So if someone needs to actually be allowed to enter into the hangar, you have a separate control room to allow you to open up the hangar doors to permit the additional ship to come in. Once again, it standard does, but the whole animation, all of it's very alien.
And this is always nice to have in your ship, because you want to be the operator of the hangar. You want to click a button and open the hangar for a guy to land and see the ship that is landing. So yeah, this is always nice to have. Like whenever I made a capital ship in Space Engineers, I was always do air traffic control inside the ship itself, with terminals and buttons to open the hangar door. Obviously it was not like this, because Space Engineers it's much easier, but yeah, this is nice.
Coming off the habitation area, we have 2 staff lifts. So these ones would be specifically for the staff to allow them to move around the ship a lot easier. So at the rear here, we have the we have the crew specific lift. This has access to all of the floors, unlike the customer lift. This is the passenger entrance area. So the lift will go to this floor for all of the passengers, which then gives them a little foyer area before they enter whatever floor they're on. We have the meeting area. So this is the conference room where important delegates would come to discuss significant trade negotiations, rather than I'm going to buy a power plant, I'm going to buy fuel. This is where serious conversations and serious negotiations go.
So this is a reaction video, so I guess I need to react even though I have nothing to say. Okay, it's fine. But you guys are obviously here and tuned in, so you can see me react to something even though there's nothing to fucking react to. It's an interior of a ship. It's a white box. It's okay, and that's it. Although there is one thing that he said, that in this room here, there's gonna be negotiations and all of that, and that made me think how are the negotiations gonna work? How is that gonna pan out? Are they thinking about it? Is it gonna work on global chat? Probably not. But on that topic, I think that once server meshing is there, and once we have most of the servers populated with a bunch of players, with tons and tons of players, I think that global chat should be just no, it shouldn't exist. Okay, keep the party chat, but not really the global chat, because that would incentivize people to press the plus button or whatever you bind it to and talk to each other in voice chats, and then negotiations here would completely work, and they would be really immersive and all of that. And that's my reaction to this. I don't know what, it's an interior of a fucking ship.
To the side of the actual meeting and delegation room, we have the VIP suites. So obviously your VIP delegates are going to want something a bit nicer, a bit more special when it comes to where they're resting. So they have their own private chambers so that they can rest and relax and freshen up before they actually go do any significant meetings.
And again, this sort of room highlights a lot of the, I guess, the shape language and the difficulties on the ship. Is that everything's curved, everything flows, and there is that kind of like real kind of like leading shapes that kind of like lead you through the ship, as opposed to what we're so used to on a lot of our human manufactured ships, whereas everything's hard and angled and flat. Really, the only thing in this ship that's flat is the floor.
Morphologist is gonna freak out, and that's my I don't know what to say. It's a ship, it's an interior, looks nice, it's a white box, so we don't really know if it looks nice, but I guess it's gonna look really nice, and good job. And I like the shell type of what would morphologists call it? It's not ship design, it's design language and all of that. And I'm not mocking morphologists, of course, but it's a ship, it's an interior, fine. But what does it do? Does it have a game loop? Are the NPCs going to work inside of it? Are you actually going to be able to hire NPCs when it comes out? That's the main question.
From the actual meeting room, you get a fantastic view of the cargo hold, where all of your goods would actually be stored. As you can see, the amount of cargo that the ship holds is colossal, and just the sheer volume of it gives you this cavernous, cathedral-like view of being stuck in the rafters of a warehouse worth of stock.
Yeah, it gives you a real sense of how tall the ship actually is. When we get to the market, you kind of get a glimpse at that, but it's not until you get into somewhere like this that spans the whole, or not even the whole height. You've got the hangar above the height of this. How big the ship actually is.
I have a question. Before it was stated that it will transfer 32 SU containers. Now I can see 1 SU boxes. I think this is 1 SU. Maybe it's a bit bigger. But shouldn't it be able to carry the 32 SU containers? And shouldn't it be able to carry only that? And that's gonna cut the time of loading a lot, because you have a tractor beam and you will be able to load it up with much faster, because it cuts the time to load up and unload the ship by 32 basically. So what's up with that? Is this just a placeholder and you just had it there and it's fine? We're gonna give you 32 SU boxes, or have you made up your mind and no, it's gonna be 3,000 SU of 1 SU boxes? Please tell me I'm wrong, and please tell me that you're gonna keep the 32 SU containers inside of the ship, please, because this this is gonna take a year to load and unload.
So I think this is what a lot of the kind of customers are going to see when they first walk into the ship. Is this sort of reveal of the market area. And what we tried to do in this area is kind of everywhere you walk into it, you're kind of walking through a small tunnel or quite a tight space, so that when you kind of do walk into it, it does then open up and you can see that sort of that grandeur and that height of the ship. And this is only 2 out of, I think it's 5 or 6 floors at this point of the part of the ship you're in. But I think it's just a nice kind of reveal of the overall kind of again, just repeating that size and that verticality that we see in the other areas of the ship.
This is one of the best spaces in the ship, and I'm being serious. I really dig it. I really like it. It reminds me of an actual marketplace, and obviously it does have a balcony where you can stand naked with a monocle and a top hat and just piss on the pools.
Okay, and the last area we want to show you today is kind of the area that we spent a little bit more time on. It's a little bit further along. We tried to take some areas and push their visuals, so we've got a good understanding of how much work's involved, and what the kind of like the final ship is actually going to look like, because it is such a large ship and there's going to be a lot of people ultimately working on it. I think it's good to have that kind of key area that you can kind of refer to as this is what the merchantman's all about. And whilst each area of the ship will have its own feel, will have its own kind of style and in its own forms, I think this is a good indication of the kind of elegance. And if you imagine this is the crew area and the guest area is going to be a level above this, I think it gives you a good idea of what we're aiming for.
So essentially, this is a space where you will have your star orgies and smoke your space hookah and have space hookers. And it looks nice. It really looks nice. Although, if everything is going to be in this style, it's going to remind me of like some kind of like, I don't know, Oriental, like Middle Eastern, like, I don't know, Turkish or something like that from like 14th to 15th century design, which is good, but like it does have some kind of a like Space Indiana Jones vibe going on here, and I like it. I actually like it, but it's still an interior of a ship that's nowhere complete, and that's it. Like this is the only room that is close to being complete, and it's made for space orgies, and
And that's pretty much where we're up to with the Banu Merchantman at the moment. This is kind of as hot off the press as it comes.
See, there they are, the 32 SU containers, and here they showed us 1 SU boxes. I don't know. Tell me I'm wrong, and tell me that maybe we're gonna be able to like carry both. But you should carry 32 SU containers, because like 1 SU boxes are just gonna be really, really boring and annoying to load up into the ship.
There's a lot of areas of the ship we've not shown yet. We're really happy with the progress we've made so far, but at the moment we are kind of at that point where we've got a skeleton crew just kind of working out everything that we need to get done to deliver the ship. When time permits, we'll be able to ramp that up and bring on more of the team to kind of get through the amount of work that's involved.
Because as he said at the start, there's currently 2 people working on it. And I guess then, like, when they add more people, there's gonna be 4 people working on it. And that's why it takes them 12 to 18 months to make a ship. And on top of that, they gotta chill for like 6 months, and then they're gonna do another capital ship that we paid for a lot of money. A lot of money. So, yeah.
So what did we learn this week?
I don't know, Jared. What have we learned? We have learned that we are not playing the same game because there's no aliens in Star Citizen, at least for me and for most of us. Nobody has saw an alien. Nobody has saw a sentient being. Like, even AI needs fucking I to be called AI, because currently it's just A. And like, we have learned that we're playing another game, and the ship is like you're working on it, and it's still in like white box phase, so it's nowhere near to completion. And that's what we learned. So thank you, Jared, for asking that. Guys, this is it for today. Like, I know that this fucking video was underwhelming. Like, when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck am I gonna talk about here? You're just talking about the interior of the ship. I guess I made a few good points, and that's it. But yeah, thank you for watching, and thank you to all my patrons for supporting the channel. If you want to support the channel, there's gonna be a link down in the description of the video. It's a Patreon link, and you can support me there. I bought the ship with the Patreon money. Well, to be honest, my dad gave me the money because I spent all the Patreon money basically. So if you want to support me buying these pieces of ships so I can actually like review them as soon as they get released, do it in the description. And thank you again for watching, and don't forget to bring a towel when you're traveling through space. And bad motherfucker, that my girlfriend bought me this shirt, and I love it. So yeah, thank you. Bye. Weirdest fucking ending ever. Mwah. I'm just gonna stare at you. You can click off now. Bye.
I'm dripping with goo.
Yep.